this is not the video I intended to make, but it is the video I am making right now. It's a story about pain, suffering, and electrocution. And also this, the Konica Big Mini BM201. Our story begins with me walking through the streets of Dublin, peering into charity shop windows, hoping to spot a Leica M3 or a Nikon F or a Hasselblad 500cm, because you're never going to give up that dream, are you, finding the golden charity shop find? But I don't find any of those golden finds. I spotted this, a Konica Big Mini sitting on a shelf for about 15 quid. So I decided to pick it up because after some frantic googling, it seemed like a solid buy. So now I just needed to figure out whether or not I had bought a brick. And to do that, I needed a battery. So I went to my local camera shop and picked up a lithium 3-volt battery that this needs, turned on the camera, and it worked. The lens popped out, the shutter seemed to fire, the flash went off, I could hear the motors turning inside trying to spool film, and all of the functions on the back of the camera on the LCD seemed to be working. I tried to load up a roll of HP5, and when I closed that film door, the problems began, because the back LCD on the camera just started giving me all kinds of garbage. And lo and behold, I had run into the camera's first major problem. And that is that there is a flimsy, crappy ribbon cable that runs from the back LCD through the film door hinge into the camera to communicate with the camera body. And on this particular camera, that cable had broken. Now, when it comes to point and shoots, a problem like this is normally a death sentence to the camera and it turns into a brick. But in this case, you can actually buy replacement cables on eBay. So I ordered one and cued the music. Fucking capacitor got me, motherfucker. So yeah, I shocked myself because I forgot to discharge the flash capacitor. Because I'm stupid. And let me tell you, those things hold enough power to give you a whore of a shock. After that shocking lesson, I managed to drain the flash capacitor using some resistors I had lying around. And after a little bit of struggle, I finally managed to replace the broken cable with the new one and get the camera put back together. And it worked. The LCD screen was working correctly once again. All of the buttons on the back control panel were working and doing their jobs correctly. And now with my freshly repaired camera, I loaded up some HP5 Plus and headed out for a walk to take some test pictures for a whole 32 frames, because on frame 33, the shutter button completely and utterly died. And wouldn't you know, it turns out that the shutter buttons on these cameras are notorious for failing, and when the shutter button fails on this camera, it turns it into a brick because you cannot buy replacement shutter buttons. Your only option is to cannibalize another Konica Big Mini for its shutter button and use it until it fails. But you know what? At the end of the day, I did manage to take some pictures. You useless piece of crap!